40 rabbits on a single acre are quietly netting one homestead in North Carolina $35,000 a year, and almost nobody is talking about it. While everyone else fights over chicken coops, argues about cattle feed prices, and watches grocery bills climb past $200 a week. A handful of smart homesteaders figured out the most profitable animal per square foot in American small farming. It is not cattle, not pigs, not even goats. It is the meat rabbit, and the reason more people are not doing this is not difficulty. It has everything to do with the fact that the commercial meat industry does not want you to know how easy and profitable this really is. By the end of this breakdown, you will know exactly how to set up a 40-rabbit operation on 1 acre or less. The specific breeds that convert feed into profit the fastest, 7 income streams most rabbit farmers never think about, and the common mistakes that bankrupt beginners before they ever process a single animal or make a single sale. Feed prices have gone through the roof. A 50-pound bag of cattle feed that cost $12 3 years ago is now pushing $22 or more. Hay prices have doubled in most states, and if any small herd of cattle or pigs is being run, feed alone eats every dollar of profit. The average small cattle operation in America spends $1,500 to $20,500 per year just to feed a single cow, one animal. After processing, transport, and marketing costs, most backyard ranchers are lucky to break even on any cattle they run. Pigs are not much better. $300 to $350 in grain per finished pig, and that is with good pasture supplementing the feed. Grocery store meat prices keep rising. Families are paying $7, $8, $9 a pound for ground beef that has been shipped across 3 states. Most homesteaders double down on chickens, and the chicken market is flooded with competing backyard farmers and commercial operations. Working harder, spending more, and making less, the feed-to-profit ratio is upside down for most conventional small livestock setups. Cattle, pigs, and even poultry require serious land, serious infrastructure, and serious capital to generate real profit at small scale. The lie told for decades. You need 20 acres, a big barn, and a truck payment to make livestock pay on a small property. That is simply not true. And the animal that proves it has been sitting right under the nose of every homesteader the whole time. Rabbit farming is not some new trend or untested homesteading experiment. Farmers have raised meat rabbits for centuries. Long before factory farms, commercial feed mills, or government subsidies, rabbits were a primary protein source across the world. Medieval monks raised rabbits inside monastery walls and called them the poor man's livestock because anyone could raise them. French peasant farmers built entire family economies around rabbit production with no land requirements and no capital investment. During both World Wars, governments across Europe and America actively encouraged backyard rabbit farming to produce meat cheaply. The USDA ran campaigns in the 1940s urging American families to raise rabbits in backyards. They knew what the industry buried later. Rabbits produce more pounds of meat per pound of feed than any other common livestock animal available to small farmers. The feed conversion ratio is staggering, roughly 4 pounds of feed to produce 1 pound of rabbit meat. Compare that to beef at 7 to 8 pounds of feed per pound of gain, or pigs at 5 to 6 pounds per pound of pork. Rabbits win the efficiency game by a margin that makes every other small livestock option look economically irrational in comparison. Why did this knowledge disappear? Because commercial agriculture consolidated around cattle, pork, and poultry. Those are the animals that scale for factory farming and generate billions for feed companies and industrial processors. Rabbits do not fit that model. They are too easy to raise at home, and they do not make corporations any recurring money. So the knowledge got buried, pushed aside, and forgotten by mainstream agricultural education and media. But the old-timers knew, and today the smartest homesteaders in America are quietly rediscovering what traditional farmers understood. Income stream 1 is direct meat sales, the foundation that the entire rabbit operation is built on. Rabbit meat sells for $8 to $12 per pound, direct to consumer at farmers markets, farm stands, or through online pre-orders. A single doe can produce up to 200 pounds of meat per year on a properly managed breeding schedule. With 10 breeding does, in a 40-rabbit setup, close to 2,000 pounds of marketable meat moves through the operation annually. At even $8 a pound, the low end of the pricing range, that is $16,000 from meat sales alone before any other income is counted. Each doe gives 6 to 8 kits per litter and can produce 4 to 6 litters per year on a sustainable rotation. Those kits reach processing weight in just 8 to 10 weeks, a constant pipeline of product rolling out every single month. No seasonal harvests, no waiting 18 months for an animal to finish like cattle. Consistent monthly production from day one. Health-conscious buyers are actively searching for lean, high-protein alternatives to beef and pork. Rabbit checks every box. Low-fat, low-cholesterol, 20 to 25 grams of protein per serving. A product that sells itself when positioned correctly. At the farmer's market, most vendors sell the same chicken and eggs everyone else has. A fresh rabbit display stands completely alone. Being the only vendor in the building offering something genuinely different is the entire competitive advantage. Income stream 2 is pelt and hide sales. And most rabbit farmers throw this away like they are tossing $10 bills in the trash. Rabbit hides sell for $5 to $10 each, and demand is steady and growing from crafters, tanners, and fashion designers. Processing 200 rabbits per year, very achievable with a 40-rabbit setup, generates $1,000 to $2,000 annually from hides alone. No master tanning skill required. Raw hides sell to local crafters or through online listings to leather workers and fiber artists. There is an entire online community that cannot find enough quality rabbit pelts at any price. Supply is genuinely insufficient. Heritage breeds like Rex and Silver Fox produce especially valuable pelts. Rex fur is dense, plush, and carries a craft premium. Choosing breeding stock that maximizes both meat and pelt value from every animal is the decision that compounds income long-term. The Homestead in North Carolina sells hides to local crafters and online. It adds thousands to the bottom line with near zero extra effort. Salt the pelts or freeze them and sell in batches. Simple, consistent, and a revenue stream that most rabbit farmers completely ignore. Income stream 3 is rabbit manure sales, and it might be the easiest money available on any homestead of any size. Unlike chicken, cow, or horse manure, rabbit droppings do not need composting before garden application. They go directly onto beds without burning plants, and organic gardeners know this and will pay for a consistent supply. Rabbit manure sells for $60 to $180 per month, depending on area, packaging, and how the product is positioned at market. Some producers bag it in 5-pound sacks and sell it alongside their meat. Others supply local nurseries and community gardens. In some months, the manure income alone covers the entire feed bill, which turns every dollar from meat and pelt sales into pure profit. With 40 rabbits producing waste daily, the supply is continuous and the packaging labor is minimal. Label it Garden Gold or Cold Manure, ready to use, and watch it move off the table at every market appearance. Turning waste into a revenue stream that covers operating costs is the efficiency advantage no other small livestock can match. Income stream 4 is breeding stock sales, and once quality genetics are established, other homesteaders will seek them out. A proven breeding doe sells for $50 to $100. Quality bucks with documented lineage go for the same or more. Heritage breeds like New Zealand Whites, Silver Fox, and Rex command even higher prices because demand consistently outpaces supply. Setting aside just 20 animals per year for breeding stock sales instead of processing adds $1,000 to $2,000 in additional income. The key is keeping detailed records, tracking litter sizes, kit survival rates, growth speeds, and individual doe temperaments. Buyers want proof that the animals produce well. A doe that consistently throws 8 kit litters with fast growth is worth far more. Post breeding stock on local homesteading groups, farm sections of classifieds, and at swap meets to build regional reputation. Word travels fast in the homesteading community. Quality genetics from a trusted source generates referrals that arrive without marketing. Income stream 5 is restaurant and chef partnerships. and high-end farm-to-table chefs are desperate for local rabbit supply. Most of them cannot find a reliable local supplier at any price, which is the exact opening that makes this relationship valuable. Rabbit is a specialty menu item. Chefs feature braised rabbit, rabbit ragu, and confit preparations as premium dishes. Whole dressed rabbits delivered to restaurants command $12 to $16 per pound, 50% more than the farmer's market rate. The volume is also reliable because once a chef puts rabbit on the menu, they need consistent weekly supply to maintain it. Start by visiting farm-to-table restaurants, bring samples, and talk directly to the chef. Not the manager, the chef. They make the purchasing decisions for specialty proteins, and they are actively searching for exactly what small rabbit farmers produce. Some farms take deposits months in advance because restaurant demand for local rabbit outpaces what any local supplier can provide. Fresh, local, high-quality protein that no distributor can supply consistently. That is the value proposition every chef understands. Income stream 6 is pet and show rabbit sales. And not every rabbit produced needs to go to processing. Pet rabbits sell for $25 to $75 each, depending on breed and temperament. Show quality animals from heritage lines fetch $100 or more. Families, 4-H participants, and hobby breeders are always looking for quality animals, and demand is consistent year-round. Rex rabbits in particular make exceptional pets and show animals. The velvety fur attracts buyers willing to pay a significant premium. The practice is simple. Select the most attractive and well-tempered kits from each litter, socialize them, and sell at premium prices. Process the remainder for meat. Sort every litter into its highest value destination, rather than treating all animals identically. Meat animals go to processing. Beautiful animals go to pet and show buyers. Proven producers go to breeding stock purchasers. Nothing is wasted, and every rabbit generates maximum return, regardless of which market it is best suited to serve. List pet quality animals on local pet groups, at county fairs, and through 4-H networks to reach the families who pay well for them. Income Stream 7 is value-added products and educational content, where creative operators separate themselves from basic rabbit farmers. Rabbit jerky, rabbit sausage, and smoked rabbit can double or triple the per-pound revenue from the same animal. Instead of selling raw meat at $8 per pound, finished products move at $18 to $25 per pound through specialty food channels. Tanned rabbit fur products, gloves, hat linings, small accessories, baby booties move consistently on Etsy and at markets. The educational angle is the hidden gem that most rabbit farmers discover only after their operation is already running profitably. Workshops, farm tours, and consulting to new rabbit farmers generate $500 from a single weekend event with 10 attendees. Established rabbit farmers report earning $3,000 to $5,000 per year from educational content and farm visits alone. Stack all 7 income streams together, and $35,000 from 40 rabbits on 1 acre is not just possible. It becomes likely. The first reaction to rabbit farming as a serious income source was dismissal. It seemed more like a 4-H project than a business. A small cattle setup had absorbed years of time and money, feed bills climbing every quarter, vet costs that made planning impossible. After all that work, breaking even was the best outcome most quarters and actual profit was rare. A friend kept insisting on looking into rabbits. The suggestion got brushed off for months with the assumption that real farming meant big animals. Then one particularly bad month arrived. $1,100 spent feeding cattle that quarter with exactly zero revenue to show for it. Those animals would not be ready for market for another 6 months, and there was no near-term path to recovering the cost. 3 New Zealand white does, and 1 buck came home for under $200 total. Basic wire hutches from scrap lumber cost another $150. Total startup under $350. The first doe kindled 8 healthy kits within 31 days of the first breeding. 8 weeks after kindling, the kits were weaned. 4 weeks after that, the first batch was processed at roughly 4 pounds each. The first cooler of dressed rabbit went to the farmer's market on a Saturday morning with genuine uncertainty about the outcome. Sold out in 2 hours, every last package gone. and buyers were asking to be put on a waiting list before leaving the table. By month 6, the operation had expanded to 10 does with a monthly feed cost of $45 to $70 total. Compare that to $600 monthly in cattle feed. And the rabbit operation was generating $450 to $720 per month in meat sales alone. By the end of the first full year, the rabbits in one corner of the property had netted more than 3 years of cattle ever produced. The realization was not that rabbits were profitable in theory. It was that the numbers on a real farm proved it beyond any doubt. The reason more people are not doing this is not that it does not work. It is that nobody showed them the actual math. Before buying the first rabbit, here are the 4 mistakes that kill operations before they ever generate a meaningful return. Mistake 1 is starting with too many animals. Buying 20 does immediately, and getting overwhelmed within 60 days of the first kindling. Suddenly, there are 150 kits to feed, process, and sell, and the market has not been built yet to absorb any of that volume. Start with 3 does and 1 buck. Learn the breeding cycle, build the customer base, then scale when both are working. Trying to run a 40 rabbit operation before mastering a 4 rabbit operation is the fastest path to burnout and complete abandonment. Mistake 2 is ignoring heat management. Rabbits handle cold weather well, but temperatures above 85 degrees can cause death within hours. In USDA zones 8 and above, shade structures, frozen water bottles in cages, and proper ventilation are non-negotiable requirements. Entire breeding herds have been lost in a single July afternoon by operators who did not plan for summer heat management. This is not an optional optimization. It is the single most critical infrastructure decision for any warmer climate rabbit operation. Mistake 3 is running without a breeding calendar. No written tracking of breeding dates, kindling dates, weaning dates, and processing dates. Without a calendar, does get overbred or production has gaps that destroy the monthly cash flow consistency the operation depends on. A simple wall calendar or spreadsheet is all that is needed. Write down every date, every litter, every outcome without exception. This single habit is what separates a profitable operation from a hobby farm that never reaches consistent income. Mistake 4 is selling at commodity prices to processors and middlemen who pay bottom dollar for the same product that sells for 4 times more direct. Farmers markets, pre-order lists, restaurant partnerships. That is where $80 to $12 per pound lives. Selling to a middleman at $3 per pound will make anyone wonder why they bothered raising rabbits in the first place. Build relationships with direct buyers first. That is where the real money lives in every market and every geography. Picture the operation 1 year from today. 40 rabbits running smoothly. Does kindling on schedule. Breeding calendar completely dialed in. A waiting list at the farmer's market. 2 restaurants placing standing weekly orders. Feed bill under $70 per month. Meat revenue alone covering a mortgage payment. Pelt sales and manure income arriving on top of that as pure additional margin. No dependence on grocery stores. No anxiety about supply chain disruptions. No sleep lost over beef prices hitting $10 at the store. Every step from breeding to processing to sale under direct control. That is the measurable version of self-sufficiency, not the fantasy version. Done on 1 acre. No massive land investment, no 6-figure equipment loans, no gambling on volatile commodity markets. Smart, efficient, proven livestock management that every generation before the last 2 would recognize and respect immediately. Drop a comment sharing whether rabbits are already running, or whether this is the video that finally makes the decision land. Every comment gets a direct response with specific advice for the individual situation described. If this changed what small acreage livestock income looks like as a real possibility, subscribe and hit the bell for weekly systems. The animals, the strategies, and the hidden income streams that most homesteading channels are too busy talking about chickens to cover. The knowledge is here now, the numbers are clear. The only thing standing between this and a $35,000 rabbit operation is starting. New Zealand white rabbits are the commercial standard. Fast-growing, consistent litters, and widely accepted by restaurant buyers. Californian rabbits closely match New Zealand whites in meat production and are a strong second choice for any commercial operation. Rex rabbits produce lower meat volume, but higher pelt value and higher pet market prices, making them ideal for a diversified strategy. Silver fox rabbits are a heritage dual-purpose breed with growing demand from buyers who seek premium genetics and pelt quality. Running 2 or 3 breeds simultaneously allows sorting every litter into its highest value market without committing to a single path. A simple pedigree card attached to every breeding cage costs nothing and adds perceived value to every animal sold as breeding stock. Photographing each doe with her litter and posting the record online builds a reputation before any sale is ever made in person. Rabbit hutches built from welded wire and wooden frames cost under $0 each in materials and last year's with basic maintenance. Stacking hutches 3 tiers high maximizes vertical space and keeps the entire operation within a footprint of 30 to 40 square feet. A manure catch tray under each tier makes daily cleaning a 5-minute task and keeps the collected product clean and marketable. The nest box used during kindling costs under in lumber and is the single most important piece of equipment in the entire operation. A doe that kindles without a proper nest box will scatter kits, and the survival rate drops dramatically in the first 24 hours. Weigh kits at 4 weeks to identify does producing above average litter weight. Those animals become the core of the breeding program. Recording 4-week kit weight over 6 consecutive litters reveals consistent high producers worth keeping versus underperformers worth culling. Processing rabbits at home requires a basic set of tools costing under $0, and the skill is learned well within the first 2 sessions. A whole dressed rabbit in vacuum-sealed packaging photographs well and sells better than loose wrapped product at any market table. Labeling vacuum-sealed packages with the farm name, breed, and processing date creates the professional presentation that justifies premium pricing. Rabbit sausage made from trim and secondary cuts converts material that might otherwise be discarded into a product that moves quickly. Dehydrated rabbit jerky, produced from thin sliced loin and leg meat, sells at farmers markets as a high-margin shelf-stable snack product. A simple food dehydrator, costing under $0, is all the equipment needed to start a value-added processing line from home. A 1-page farm story, breed information, feeding practices, and the farm location, placed on the market table, converts browsers to buyers. Customers who understand where the animal came from and how it was raised buy more frequently and at higher prices than uninformed buyers. A standing pre-order list with email sign-up eliminates the uncertainty of weekly market sales and guarantees a floor of consistent revenue. Asking 10 current buyers to each refer one person takes $0 cost and creates the most reliable growth path for direct sales. Documenting the operation on social media with weekly litter updates and processing day posts builds an audience before any advertising budget exists. An audience of even 200 local followers who trust the farm is worth more than a farmer's market booth at peak summer attendance. Teaching a 2-hour rabbit processing workshop on the farm at $0 per person generates $0 from 10 attendees in a single afternoon. Experienced rabbit keepers who offer to mentor beginners for a fee create a recurring income stream from the knowledge already built. A simple website with a photo gallery, breed descriptions, and a contact form is a bin SH to $5 per month investment in permanent discoverability. Customers who find the farm through search are already motivated buyers. They require far less convincing than cold market traffic. Tracking monthly gross revenue, monthly feed cost, and monthly labor hours on a spreadsheet reveals exactly which income streams pay the most per hour. The income stream with the highest return per hour of labor is always the one worth scaling first before expanding any other channel. After 1 full year of detailed records, the operation is no longer a farm. It is a documented business with a proven income model. Rabbit liver, kidneys, and heart are considered delicacies in European cuisine and sell at specialty butchers at premium per pound pricing. Offering organ meat as an add-on to regular orders requires no additional production and converts what would be discarded into revenue. A bone broth made from rabbit frames and rendered for 4 to 6 hours produces a product that sells at farmers markets and online. Packaged in pint jars with a farm label, rabbit bone broth reaches buyers seeking the same product from chicken or beef at a lower cost. Partnering with a local meal prep or meal kit service to supply weekly rabbit portions creates a standing B2B order without market setup. Meal prep businesses pay slightly below retail, but eliminate the labor of direct consumer sales and absorb volume predictably each week. A standing pre-order email list eliminates the uncertainty of weekly market sales and guarantees a revenue floor every month.